Oh my goodness. What's going down? How's everybody feeling? Johnny O here. Just wait a few minutes before we can get some people on board and then we can start just chit-chatting a little bit. You know, got so much happening and we got so much going on. People just wanted to know what's going on in my career and stuff. And I'm excited because, you know, a lot of people have been talking a lot of junk and a lot of stuff about me and saying some bullying stuff, and it's okay. You know what? It's okay. I'm not going to do that at all. I'm not going to blot out. Hey, John. And everybody's coming on board now. Zapata's coming on. John Gale's on board already. And who else? Jay's coming on board. Garcia. All the faithful are all going to show up and stuff. You guys can share this. I love you too, sweetheart. Love you too, baby. And, you know, I'm excited. Hey, what's going on? What's up, buddy? What's up? Marco's on board. He's watching. A lot of people. We already got Fanny's on. Fanny, what's going on, girl? Guys, I came on a little bit late because I wanted to make sure that I get everything right. It's raining, so if you can hear, yeah, I see the people that put it loud. Jay Garcia, what's up? Jay, Marco, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? Stephanie's on board. She just got on board. Team Johnny O's in the Angie. What's going on, Angie? She's there. Frank steering. Thomas, yo, Thomas, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for your love, Carol. Team Johnny O, Angie, I got my team, my fans, you know, they defended me. Let's go right to the beginnings. I'm going to do things with humility and love. I wanted to first, I'm going to be reading on the side because I wrote everything down. So, because I didn't want to rant and I didn't want to be misinformed and I don't want to misinform anybody. You know, I wanted to make sure that I tell you guys basically it. Guys, we are the freestyle community. We're together. We are one. When we have situations and cancers that try to divide us, it's detrimental to the body of the freestyle movement because it hurts us. You know, we have to address many of these issues and these misconceptions that are right now just being thrown in our faces. A strong divide is sad, you know, it's almost like the politicians right now of the world. It's very strong and it's being divided, you know. Warning, warning, Frankie Colors is in the place to be. What's going on, my brother Frankie? Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, Tony? What's going on, Tony, Stephanie? Guys, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your love and everything. You know, I really, truly love you guys. You guys are my huge support. A lot of recording artists, A-list artists, platinum artists, and gold standard artists called me, texted me. Some of the top absolute iconic DJs contacted me, spoke on the phone with me. Some of the leaders in Christianity reached out to me. Hey, Fatima. Hi, my love. Diamond, what's going on, babe? And they all, Leo, what's going on? And everybody reached out to me. And they saw my hurt, they saw the attack, but they also encouraged me. And they said, Johnny, you need to speak up. I never spoke up and I never did want to because he's into this person into his fourth video or fifth video, whatever it is. I think he's starting a series of videos. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm not into that stuff. Everybody, you know that. I don't even, when I get into arguments or disappointments, I don't even post up of bashing people. I don't even do that because I don't like doing that. That's just wrong. It's against my faith. You know, I don't do that. But once you start becoming a bully and you call me out, I'm not afraid and I have to step up. Then when you start attacking my friends and my colleagues and the industry as a whole and you start spreading lies, straight out blatant lies, then I have to address these lies to educate everybody. So I want to begin by saying I wanted to thank all the supporters, the freestyle elites, and the artists that reached out with me with their love and support. As a family united together, we can make a difference. We only have each other. We don't have anything else. Let me tell you, when Freestyle started taking its dive back around 1993 and 95, when radio started falling apart and the corporate giants were telling the mainstream radios that, hey, look at the numbers and look at where the money's at. It was in hip hop. If it wasn't for the internet, we would be extinct. We would be the next thing that would be going out, because in the early 80s and the late 70s to the early 80s, everybody remembers disco died. That's where disco died. And there was no internet then. There was nothing to support them as they disappeared into the oblivion. And they went to another world. I think the number one thing that I need to do is to educate everyone. And we'll get to that. To my Christian leaders that reached out to me because they knew that I was going to do this, they told me to do it with integrity and with love, with compassion, and to be aware of the ministry that I do hold, which is Synagogue Church of Jesus Christ. Everybody knows that I'm a pastor for 19 years. I am licensed and ordained. A lot of people didn't know that. I am. And I also hold over 1,100 members. I have a page on Facebook called Philadelphia Project, which many members go there. I keep current events, and we try to teach you not only to walk the faith and have a relationship with our Lord, and to maintain your relationship with your Lord in your environment, because He's relative to your life. He's the theory of relativity. He's the relative of everything. He's relative to everything. And, you know, He's my source. He's my love. So I hold strong to that. And I'm so thankful that they reached out to me and they told me to do things with integrity, and I promise you I will. You won't see me blurt out curse words or put anyone down or degrade anybody. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm going to love my enemies, and I'm going to thank God that I am the leader, one of the leaders in this industry, and all of the iconic male artists that reached out to me and female artists that reached out to me, and they know who they are this afternoon, this morning. And God bless you guys. You guys, I love you very much. And Freestyle lives. To my manager of Fantastic Entertainment, and who has been the only manager I've ever had, would be Geno. I've had my other manager, which was George Vasconez, the late George Vasconez of Sparkle Productions. And that was the only two people that's ever managed my career. If you ever see any kind of titles on anybody that said that they managed me, that's not true. They probably road managed me, but no one's managed me except my beautiful wife of 33 years that we've hung in together, and we've done this together, and we have shaped this industry together. And the late George Vasconez, who was my mentor and one of my karate teachers, because he studied Gojo, and he was a phenomenal fighter. For a guy of his size. He was absolutely, he reminded me of the Kingpin of Spider-Man, because Kingpin, though he was so fat, the one thing, he was agile. And George was fast. I remember fighting him, and that boy knocked me down, but I got a couple of good licks in him. He told me, man, you're dangerous. I said, yeah. But George is amazing, and rest in peace, George. You'll always be in my heart. You know, somebody recently addressed the fact that they said that, why do I have a job? Why do I have a job? Well, first of all, I don't have a job. My job is to be king of freestyle, because I am king of freestyle. But I am an entrepreneur. Yes, I will admit that. I am a realtor. I help people get homes and find their dreams. Absolutely, it's true. I did. Did I sell cars for 25 years? Yes, I did. I did sell cars. I sold cars. I traded cars. I was a part of car dealerships and stuff. I did, because I love cars. And I know when a Mercedes-Benz or a car with ball tires and needs a water pump and it's only worth $6,000. I know cars very well. Trust me. I know the market value of cars very well. So, and I can tell you straight up that I also am a family man. You know, I am a papa with my little sweetheart that's over there in New York. It's my darling sweetheart. I love her very much. I am a licensed pastor, senior pastor and evangelist. Why I call myself pastor evangelist is because I am a pastor of 1,100 people that are faithful people, tithers, and also just faithful. They love the Lord, and they also have jobs, careers, and they're entrepreneurs. I know a few of my members of Synagogue Church of Jesus Christ are multimillionaires, and they are. Can you believe that? They got a lot of money. The one gentleman showed me his toys. He has two Ferraris, and he had the Mercedes Jeep, and he showed it to me. And he's a good friend of mine. I failed him to meet him in New York, and he knows who he is. I love him, so don't kill me. But I also am a 19-year licensed and ordained in a non-denominational faith, and it's called Synagogue Church of Jesus Christ. So that's about there. I said my hellos. I wanted to thank everybody for everything. Let's continue. So the education that I wanted to get back is the one thing that I've heard was people claiming that they are kings and this and that. But we got to understand the history of freestyle. And that's where when I recently did my thesis, I did a thesis on myself, which I'm reading from, which is, you can see right there. You see my computer? Okay. I did a thesis on that for approximately, let me say, 15 pages. And I submitted it to the producers of Texas, and they got it. And they're going to be doing a docu-series on me, and or they call it epi-series. I'm not sure the terminology, but we already spoke to. They work for Paramount Pictures, and they're working. They had asked several questions about my career. I can ask you, how does your fans, both new and old, feel about your focusing on religion, teaching you, and so forth? Are you a Christian? We have heard you are a pastor. Others saying, if you could turn back the time early in your career, what would you change? What impact have promoters made in our genre? You know, all these questions. And one of the questions they brought up was, are you king of freestyle, and why? Because they wanted to make, if they're going to go forward with this particular title and want to know why am I the king of freestyle, and they wanted facts and not assertions or emotions, as everybody is feeling out there. If my hand is shaking, it's because, I'm sorry, because let me get out here, sorry. My hand will be shaking because it's out there. Let me see if I can get something to stabilize my hand. Okay, better. Let me see, is that better? I wish I had something to hold it, but okay, that's better. So they were asking that, why? So I had to do the research. I shared it with several recording artists on the road, and they were blown away. And I wanted to read a little bit of it. It says, is that okay if I can read a little bit of the history so that you could get some idea of it and stuff? Derek Florence in the high place, what's up? Christopher, what's going on? Diamond, Gail, Chris Adams is in the place. Hey, what's going on, buddy? So freestyle, when did it actually start? In order to answer that question, we have to go back as far as the demise of disco back in the early 80s. Disco was the pop music of the 70s, and one of the biggest radio stations of the country at its time was Disco 92, WKTU FM in New York City. Disco 92 core audience was made up primarily of Hispanic and Italian Americans. But at this time, freestyle wasn't even in existence. What was known in the market and was beginning back in the early 80s was a movement called the Latin hip-hop. And this was still in its infancy, the Latin hip-hop. Latin hip-hop was a connotation of hip-hop. Hip-hop started in 1982 and blew up. Hip-hop became an exclusive movement for the black community. And they were very exclusive. They were not letting any other genre or demographics come in, and that's the facts. Latin hip-hop was a demographic of not only the black community, but the Hispanic and white community. It was reaching over and crossing over radio stations at the time. This was the Latin hip-hop movement at that time. When disco flooded in the early 80s, so did KTU's rating. In a move to bolster the staggering rates, KTU changed its format to eventually also changing its letters to a more mainstream pop format and R&B station, where records like Let the Music Play, which received a Grammy nomination for R&B dance, not freestyle, when eventually the station would even play rock as well. Other stations cross town, which was WXLO-XX 99X, also changed its format. By 1981, 99X changed to 98.7 KISS FM. You remember that one? The urban station hoping to chip away at WBLS, the stronghold of New York City's African-American audience, in 1983. We're already up to 1983. So, I'm sorry, somebody cut in. I'm not going to take no phone calls while I'm doing this. HTZ or Z100 went on air to take on WPLJ for the mainstream, primarily white audience, abandoned by KTU at that time. Through all these format changes, one demographic of the huge Hispanic audience in New York City went overlooked and opted for the KISS FM or the BLS because they didn't know, they didn't have anything. Most of the integrity of the movement that was started at the time was called the Latin hip hop movement, which did play the occasional club records, which was either pop dance or Latin hip hop, which was in its infancy. In the early days, after the interview of the late Toga, the producer, many of the songs that were considered of this gentleman were more pop dance at the time when he came out. And at the time, his first record was Friday Friday Boy Toy, which didn't do that well. But after that, the formats changed for him. In entering the pop realm, which was ruled by the king of pop at that time, Michael Jackson, there was no other format that was happening during that time. It was only Latin hip hop, pop, R&B dance, R&B, and hip hop. That's what was happening at that time in '83. There was no freestyle in 1983. Sorry. Freestyle and the connotation of the word did not emerge for many years later. So, in essence, there was no freestyle in the early years of the 80s. Even in the elites of its time can attest to this fact. Many who went to see TKA in the heyday in the La Mirage Club in the Bronx remember the title so proudly wanted that they wanted everybody to remember that one title, and that was the Latin hip-hop movement at that time. And it was the alternative to hip-hop, which was dominated by the black community at the time. In 1982, when African Bambaataa and Sonic Force released Planet Rock, the new sound was born, a distinctive dance sound. And it was also called hip-hop bebop or breakdancing music. Note the connotation of hip-hop again. In the future instances, these songs were adopted by the Latin hip-hop category as part of the movement. While most of the neighborhood clubs steadily closed their doors for good, some Manhattan clubs suddenly thrived due to in part of local governments attacking and changing the music. Places like Roxy, Funhouse, Broadway 96, Gotham West, Roseland, who were playing the new sound, were packed to the gills because of the new format which was emerging. And that new format which was emerging in '84 and '85 was called Latin hip hop. Records like Let the Music Play at Your Own, records like Play at Your Own Risk by Planet Patrol, One More Shot, Numbers by Kraftwerk, AEIOU by Freeze. All of these big records were iconic in New York and were considered dance pop songs or Latin hip hop songs, but they were never considered freestyle because the style never came out at that time. Some producers were wisely copying the sound and making songs that were more melodic. Records like Remember What You Like by Janie Burton, Let the Music Play, Give Me Tonight, where dance R&B tracks were blowing the stations up in New York City radio stations. Many of these performers performed in Funhouse, Roseland, and packed the floors. People packing these floors were mostly young Latino Puerto Ricans. And this is why you get the connotation of Latin hip-hop. And I'm teaching you this so that you can know the differences of when freestyle started and came about. We're going to let's jump ahead a little bit so that we can continue, okay? This movement was supported by the birth of Latin hip-hop by DJs who played the music. Jelly Bean Benitez, who happens to be a good friend of mine. He worked with my uncle Armando, Jelly Bean. Tony Torres, actually Tony Torres managed me with Grand Four Wizards. Raul Soto, Romo Ricardo were all Hispanic. And on the stages of these songs that were performing these Latin hip-hop records were not Hispanic, not most of them. They were African American, European American, there were Latinos, there were everything. And even the producers themselves were not all Hispanic producers. They were all demographics, all different cultures. Isn't that amazing? Then we go to the first lady of dance music as we know it. There was no exceptions. In 1984, Niobe released her first record, Please Don't Go. Niobe, a Cuban American who was 16 years old when she recorded the record, and the discovery by Andy Panda, who co-produced and co-wrote the song Please Don't Go, became an instant club classic, served as the bridge between the Shannon Quees records and that was flooding the market and the sound that developed the following year. And was called and recognized as what? They called it and they recognized the movement and the format Latin hip hop. What do you know? Unbelievable. There was no freestyle at that time. Okay, so we go here. Here was the formatting. The marvel began the structure of the new style. But note, there was not called freestyle, and this was the birth. That was what the birth of the early '80s Latin hip hop movement. And this also was true of Jelly Bean Benitez's classic, The Mexican. The single that many was considered the first Latin hip hop record was Lisa's Cult Jam, I Wonder If You Would Take Me Home. The song was originally signed by Personal Records in New York City and not released in the US, and blah, 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 blah. We go into that. Okay, so we're dealing with these times. Then you come up to, on August 2nd, 1985, a club, Devil's Nest, opened its doors on the corner of Webster and Tremont Avenue. And the club was originally intended to be a salsa club, but turned out very light. And the club owner, who happens to be my exclusive booking agent, Sal Batello, knew that he had something special. And he visited the Manhattan club called Infernal, and it was packed with Latinos and crowd. He decided that he should try the new Infernal format, which worked there as well in the Bronx. In order to succeed, he needed the right DJ, and the most popular new DJ, and he goes on Devil's Nest and breaks it down, but he's right there breaking everything down. 2 weeks later, Devil's Nest booked an expose, hired Little Louis Vega. Little Louis, Sal crossed his fingers, and luck hit him. The combination of Little Louis following the popularity of Expose's Point of No Return, Exposed to Love, paid off, and the club was packed, stayed packed week after week. And then it continues on, and it tells you that freestyle was established in the spring of 1986. What? But I thought, you started in 83, and you're this and that. No, that's what I'm telling you. Let's talk about facts. Let's talk about the history of freestyle, when freestyle started, when it all started, when it all came down. And let me read you this part. Soon, it became Louis' biggest record ever, officially received. On March 1st, 1986, one week after the release of One Way Love by TKA performance in Devil's Nest, the club was packed and the kids were waiting to see who sang the song, the record, and they heard it for weeks. When TKA walked on stage, the crowd went crazy. In all honesty, the show was amazing, and the crowd loved them. They were happy to see him on stage. TKA, they rocked it. It was amazing. And I was around at that time, Johnny O. I was a breakdancing sensation on the media as far back as 1984. I was with the Grand Floor Wizards back in 1984. I went to see TKA in La Mirage that day, and I saw them. They did Scars of Love, and I think they did the One Way Love at that time. They were amazing. They were so young and they were handsome. They were all still, but they were amazing. They were my best friends. They were amazing, and they were amazing. But guess what? This was at the time what it was called in 84, 85 Latin hip hop. Then they talks about the cover girls, and I continue on. I'm going to break it up here. By the spring of 1986, freestyle was exploding in New York City clubs. New York City radio, however, was not impressed, nor was radio stations around the country. It remained mainly underground and its occasional support by program directors. Exceptions were Hot 105 in Miami, Power 106 in Los Angeles, who played and made the first single by TKA Niobe and Expose hits South Florida, Southern California, respectively, and radio station program directors still ignored freestyle. Meanwhile, in South Florida, the Miami sound was also gathering attention from major labels. And this is where other artists jumped ship from their formats they were in before, from Latin hip hop, and they came into the freestyle movement. Okay, and this is where you got this movement that came in with the Will to Power, the Expose, the other person that mentions his name a lot that did the ranting, and Company B, and all these people jumped in at around 1987. This is exactly what happened. And certain people had a record that I mentioned before that didn't do well. So this is facts and truth. I came out in 1987. Let me go catch up to myself. Here we could start over here, which was freestyle. I submitted all this to the producers. I'm reading you something that's personal, but I had to bring it out because apparently most of the people would listen to a person speaking about, well, I'm this and I'm that, but there's no facts. I got facts. I got historical facts. These are historical facts that are out there, that are unchangeable. It's just history right here. This is where it began. I remember going with Sparkle Productions with George Vascones and telling me when I first started my career, and he told me, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's that? You're going to go sit down with this young lady and you're going to go to 50 of her shows. I said, 50 shows? Dude, are you serious? He goes, I want you to do that. And I said to George, but what do you want me to do? He said, just sit there and watch her. I said, okay. So I went out with 50 shows, nearly, and I'm probably exaggerating it, and you can, but at least 30 to 40 to 50 shows. I went with this one young lady and I watched her rock show after show. Sometimes she did 2 to 3 shows a night. It's a true story. 2 to 3 shows a night. Her name was Judy Torres, and she was my mentor. I watched her rock the show after show after show, and it was amazing. And people were just loving on her as they do today. That's why I was mentored by the queen of freestyle. So I come back and I say to myself, I said, wow, this is amazing. In spring of 1988, Cynthia from East Harlem, New York City, released her first single, Change on Me. It was the first of many hit songs that would be released and made her one of the biggest selling solo female singers of freestyle and one of freestyle's most popular female performing artists to date. That was in 1988. I came back to back right after her. By 1988, freestyle was at its peak. At the year saw the establishment of the freestyle acts releasing new quality releases, as well as many promising new artists releasing their first singles. Just 2 years in the making, back in 1987, when I met with Mickey Garcia and Marvin Schlachter and everybody, I had recorded my biggest solo hit any male artist had at that time. And it was called, and I was being called the king of Micmac Records, the king of freestyle Micmac Records at that time. And no one knew that this Brooklyn-born star signed with Micmac Records would go global on my first record. My first record, not the second, the first. Fantasy Girl was birth of the king of freestyle. Instant chart buster, top 10 chart buster in Billboard, sold 100,000 copies the first month. I was a superstar. I became an instant favorite with the freestyle fans with my powerful voice, energetic performances, my charismatic style, and my incredible productions, which I kept producing year after year. Then we go to my demographics right here, because they wanted me to submit a demographic. They said, can you talk to me? And I remember, ready for this? Now we're dealing with freestyle. We're not dealing with dance pop records. We're not dealing with pop records or ballads and everything. We're dealing with freestyle records. Okay, let's talk facts. 1987, the single Fantasy Girl dropped, mega hit. My 1988 album, Johnny O, self-entitled, smash hit. 1988, I dropped Highways of Love, another hit. 1989, Memories. 1990, I dropped Don't Go Away Girl. 1991, the most iconic record besides the other song called Maria. It's the biggest song in the history of freestyle, the duet, Dream Boy, Dream Girl. I dropped the 1991 album, Like a Stranger. 1992, nobody knew that I had an R&B dance track that was a hit, I Just Want to Get to Know You, which was written by Jimmy Salvamini. And he's a good friend of mine. He's working with George at the time right now. We Can't Go On This Way. I Love You. That was a song that was, I forgot the gentleman's name. He's a phenomenal singer today. He's a new schooler. I don't really consider him a new schooler. He's just an artist. He's an amazing artist. In 1995, when corporate giants were already speaking to the mainstream radio, and telling them to look at the numbers and look at where the money is at, in 1995, Runaway Love came out and hit the charts hard and hit Billboard, and I was all over. From coast to coast, from New York to California, Runaway Love blew up. And that was Charlie Baby, who came up to me and made that record with me, and we blew up. I Know That You Love Me came right after that. I know that you love me. I love that record. That was an iconic record. Then after that, I dropped an album called Call It What You Like. And there was a theme, an album, a single that I wanted to be a theme. It didn't catch on because from 1995, remember, now we lost radio. Music started going really underground. And in 1995 also, I want to bring this up, I was the one The one recording artist, the male recording artist, the single male recording artist at that time that was complaining about the movement called the Planet Patrol music, which they kept doing Planet Patrol beats on all the songs, and I was the one that said stop it in 1995. By that time, they were destroying our market. You kept hearing it, boom, boom, and on every record. It was annoying. It was absolutely stupid. They were destroying our market back then. And I still dropped that single from there. Then in 1996, I dropped Freestyle's Time to Party. Didn't grab whole Love Letter. Didn't grab that much. Take Me Through the Night. I was working with ZYX Records. That blew up in Germany. That did great in Germany. Germany and all of Europe, it did phenomenal. Sounds of My Heart album did phenomenal. And then in 2001, Romeo Entertainment worked with me on a song in 2001 called I'm So In Love. Go look at that record up. That is the most beautiful freestyle record you could ever. It's like a roller coaster ride. That record has some strings on there that'll take you for a ride, and it blew you away. Then I dropped the album Peace on Earth, a double side, which the song Scream with my daughter Athena blew up and did great. And I also dropped my first gospel record then and there. Everybody thought that album was totally gospel. It wasn't. It was partially. And I had a song there called King of Kings. And everybody loved that song, King of Kings. And if you listen to the iconic writing about that, it is absolutely out of this world. Okay? That's my career, and I can continue on. 2007, Save Me, Silent Lucidity, Buscando la Razón with UUMC, My World with Rob, my brother out there, I forgot his name, Lord have mercy. My World, the challenge I did in 2012 with Planet Patrol, an amazing group. These guys are icons. And I did He's All Right With Me with Club Jumpers, Who Against Me in 2013. Now let's talk another thing. Now let's jump subjects now. To the new schoolers that are out there, you've been getting slammed. Don't. I can talk. Because in 2013, when Who Against Me came out, I had booked Radio City Music Hall with Artie Rodriguez and Lou and Freddie the Edit to do that song on stage. I, the king of freestyle at that time, decided to work with Artie at that time to bring him on stage with me because I loved him and I wanted to boost his career. And I still to this day work with him and I love him very much. And I respect him and Freddie and everybody, Lou and everybody. They know I love them. And I pushed for that record. Do you know that hours before I got on stage on Radio City Music Hall, they called me and threatened me. They threatened me. They said, you sing that song, we're going to throw you off the show. This is a true story. When you go onto the YouTube and you see me singing that song, you know that I had tears of joy because we prayed. And Artie and everybody called me and they said, Johnny, I don't want you thrown off the show. And I said, no, we're going to do it, dude. And I called them back and I said, listen, I'm doing that song. No, you're not. I said, yes, I am. You could throw me off the show then. Take me off. Are you serious? I said, yeah, take me off. And they didn't. They let me do the song. And we did the song for God. And it was awesome. It was what it did. It was what it was. And it was okay. You know what? But that's okay. And this opens the new can of worms that comes out that everybody's ranting about. You know, the music, which goes back to here. Let me go back here to my other paperwork. Right here. Come on, open. It goes back to this thing right here. Right here. When we talk, let's talk about the new schoolers music coming out of Canada, Germany, Brazil, and America. Okay, sorry, I'm not taking no calls. Okay, let's talk about that. This music that's coming out right now, guys, I'm passionate about my style as well. Okay, and if you guys are going to put out songs that are garbage, get ready because we will rip it up. And I'm sorry, we will. And I'm encouraging every single person out there that's a fan, an industry leader, promoter, anybody. If it's garbage, it's garbage. I'm sorry. We're not going to support garbage. I'm not supporting agendas. I'm not supporting garbage. I'm not supporting anything of that nature. I have so many friends in this industry. I'm a pastor. I'm a man of God, and I have to cross over lines that sometimes some people can't work with another person and another person can't. But I got to work with all. I got to. I got to work with all the groups. I got to work with everybody. I have to be neutral on all issues. That's why you're not going to find me blasting that gentleman that hurt me. You know, I'm not going to do it. but I'm going to let the facts speak for themselves, why I am holding firm on my foundation of who I am. And no recording artists, because they called me and they told me, they apologized to me. I'm sorry. I know who you are now. I couldn't believe it. Some of them even said, I couldn't believe it, but you are. You have the numbers. You got the records. You are Johnny O, King of Freestyle. And I am. And I'm not boasting about it. But then I prayed about it. I said, Lord, do you want me to do this or you want me to be quiet? Because sometimes it's better to be quiet and less than my fans defend me. But when you have industry at least call you and text you and email you and say, you need to speak up, buddy. Come on. I know that you're humble. I know you're this, but you got to speak up, guy. We need you. If you're truly the leader, then you can't be a silent leader. You can't let your army fall apart. And he's right. I'm not going to let you fall apart. But you new schoolers, you have to sit back and think about the productions. You can't just put on a Planet Patrol beat on there and spin it around and then throw some lyrics and then get somebody to sing it and come out and say, that's a great song. That's garbage. You can't do that, okay? You got to work at it, man. You got to go back to the styles that were. When you can take a Judy's Torres record and a Sapphire record, you can find the distinction between it. You can take a Cover Girls record and an Expose record, you can see the distinctions. The melodic sounds, the bells, the iconic sounds, everything that makes a song, the writings. People were writing back then about uniting in love and hurts and emotions and teen emotions. I know that we're older today, but there are things that we can still write about and stuff that is very moving. And recently people have been talking about abuse. People's been talking about cancers. People's been talking about situations in their lives. And this is what the writings are now. They're evolving, and this is what we need to do. This is good writing. This is creativity. So if you're going to put out great songs, we're going to support it. And I'm guarantee you that everybody, all of the DJs out there in their mix shows will play it, you know. But when you have DJs telling you, I'm not going to play garbage, it's because they have to protect their audiences. They're not going to play garbage and have a reputation of playing garbage. Garbage belongs in the trash. And I'm sorry if you feel that way, but there are certain things that I do agree with the other gentleman. But you don't have to express yourself in such a manner that you hurt people. Okay? Let's unite. Let's not divide. There was another question that was brought up, which was, if he's the king of freestyle, then why is he opening up for me? That question is very simple. And I say, please excuse me, but I'm not opening up for you, my friend. Stop misleading the people and telling lies. The question is this one. You ready for the question? If you had Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, and Elton John on the same stage, who's the king? Oops. Exactly. My writers tell me that I'm supposed to close the shows. And when I promote these shows, Fantastic Entertainment has just recently started to stepping up and working with investors, and we've been promoting shows. I've been closing them. And I've closed them in the past. I've closed them all in the past. And everybody expects me to close my shows. I close them. But when we have iconic artists from all genres of music, or even within my genre of music, that rightfully are iconic and kings of their realm, there's no disrespect. Somebody can go after me, can go before me, could go on my side, could go on my left. But I'm not going to think that he's better or bigger than badder than me. No, I don't think that. I think he's the Billy Joe. I think he's the Elton John. I think he's the Michael Jackson. I think he's the King, the Elvis Presley. That's the Beatles over there. Guess what? You can't take away their fame, their fortune, and everything. They're doing great. They're doing amazing. I don't need to boast about what I have. God has blessed me. No one can threaten me. No one can shut me down. The Holy Spirit guides me, and Father God tells me what to do. He opens the doors for me. No man controls me. No one tells me what to do. Promoters call me and say, Johnny, I want you. I need you. Because I'm a draw. Because when I get on stage, I'm by myself. And I destroy the stage. I command the mic. I command the stage. My fans love me. They adore me. And I'm Johnny O, King of Freestyle. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I have the numbers. I proved it by evidence. And I tell this industry, we must unite and gather together. And if there's haters out there, then we need to shun them away and educate them. And if they refuse to want to join, then outcast. Say, we're not interested. We love you, and I hope that you want to join forces with us, because we don't have much to fight about. We're not a billion-dollar industry. We're not a billion-dollar industry. And these promoters, they want to make money. And I'm getting involved in the promotions for the last 2 years. I've gotten to know everybody's price now. And I know who's ripping people off, and I know who's underpaid. Underpaid. You listen to that. Underpaid. And the new schoolers, going back to you guys, you know, you want us to support you. You want us A-listers to support you. We do support you. Some of them won't. And that's perfectly fine. You're not going to twist their arms. That's fine. And I don't expect them to be curtailing to you. But if you're going to be giving us garbage music and not creativity, and you're going to put a Planet Rock beat behind it, and I hear that boo, boo, boo in the background, and there's no creativity on anything, come on, man. Nobody's going to play those songs. I don't care how crafty, how beautiful the vocals are, how you pitch corrected and you auto-tune it and everything. It's garbage. Yeah, and you know, something also, a very key element too. I wanted to bring this up. How many people know Usher? Do you know that Usher, when he started his career, he was very adamant about singing. Very adamant about singing live. And if anybody knows Usher's career, he was a phenomenal dancer. Phenomenal dancer. He's the Fred Astaire of his style. Fred Astaire of his style. Usher is amazing. But you cannot dance at that level of the Michael Jackson Usher level and maintain live vocals. So people would tell him, when you're doing that, you got to overtrack. So he would overtrack and his show would come out. But when he wasn't dancing at that peak, he sang live, and he sang live songs, and then he started mastering it to the point that his shows are iconic and amazing. He was an inspiration for me. Why do I say that? Because we got to stop this lip syncing garbage. It's old, you know. Getting up there and you just lip sync your song all the way through, and there's no even an effort to sing a verse or stuff. Me and Cynthia has been singing Dream Boy, Dream Girl for 30 years live, purely live. And every song that we do, we try to do everything live because we are what we want. We want the best. When you buy a ticket, you buy $100 ticket, you're getting your money's worth. You want to be a recording artist, then play the part. Play the part, okay? Get your face, get your clothes together, get your choreography together, get your show tape together, get everything together, market yourself. You know what I mean? Get out there. Because I'm just as hard as anybody else out there. You know, I get people to call me and send me tracks all day long, and I tell them straight up, I tell you, I'm Simon. Don't be offended. No, we know. You're Artie's friend, you're this one's friend, you're that one's friend. We trust your judgment. And I tell them, I rip into them. But there's some songs that are good. And I tell them, this song is hot, bro. Yeah, great, man, congratulations. But other songs are garbage. And I tell them, I don't like it, bro. You're off key. I think the singing's weak. I hear boom, boom. What is that? What are you doing, dude? Come on, man. Where's the creativity in the music? Where is it? This goes back to another subject that I'm coming in, because I have a song coming out. It's already we did a focus group on it. Derek Florin, who's on the chat, and other people that's in the chat already heard the record, and they're playing it secretly, and they're not supposed to, called My One and Only. And My One and Only is an iconic record that's coming out, and it's going to do well. And I'm trying to get distribution on it, rather than put it out on CD Baby or another TuneCore, just put it on my label and just throw it out there and just, okay, hope for the best. I don't want that. I want this record to make it, you know? So I guess I'm taking this opportunity to reach out to the elites that are watching, and if you have any connections for me that would help me get distribution with marketing, record marketing on the song, please reach out to me, because we are looking for that right now. The song's done, the CD cover's done, the mixes are done, the agreements are all done, everything's ready to go. I can drop the record tomorrow. I could put it on iTunes, it'll be done in 3 weeks and it's on, but that's not what I want. I want a song that's gonna be lasting, and it's gonna be there forever. So that's what comes up here. What else? Whew. I think I addressed everything regarding the comments that were directed toward me. I think I educated everybody on what's going on with freestyle and the beginnings of freestyle. And of course, it's not etched in stone. It's nothing. It's not 10 Commandment tablets. There's always going to be different versions and different opinions and stuff like that. But the dates and the times are unmovable. Those are iconic. Those are etched in stone. Where you had the fall of disco, late 70s, early 80s, and you had the birth of Latin hip hop that lasted for a while. Then in the spring of 1986, freestyle was established. All these things are established. And then I gave you my discography of all of my hits. We counted 9 songs alone that were 9 songs freestyle from Johnny O. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs. Yeah. King of Freestyle. Yeah, hi. That's me. Don't get mixed up. Don't get mixed up with it. I'm the King of Freestyle. And that's not to degrade anybody. You guys are iconic. You guys are pop recording artists, my word. You are legends. You are awesome. I played your songs. I love your songs. I've danced to your songs. I breakdanced to your songs. I popped to your songs. I love them. I was a breakdancer from 1984 to 1986, and I was a famous one. Grand Floor Wizards. Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, Grand Floor Wizards. Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, Grand Floor Wizards. Grand Floor Wizards. That was me. My nickname was Run Love. And I had Powerful, Stretch. Stretch happened to be a choreographer that worked with Michael Jackson. Stretch. Yeah, I've always been around very talented people. And I remember the late Neil Hope and Chad Brown when we destroyed the stages. And remember, I'm destroying the stage by myself. Imagine me getting my dancers together with my band that I had. I just recently did a show in Miami where we did a band together. And we rocked it. The promoter came up to me and said, Johnny, you did amazing. You did a concert, Johnny. Just recently I was up there with Sal. And I destroyed the stage. And Sal pulled me over to the side and he was like, dude, you guys destroyed it. And it wasn't just me, it was me and Cindy. I want to say that me and Cindy destroyed it because Cindy did amazing that night. She had these outfits that she's buying. God, I told her, girl, you crazy, man. She's got these amazing outfits. She's awesome, man. She's just iconic. I love her. So, you know, I think I said enough. I think I said my piece and I've educated everybody. Now you have education and facts, okay? So that when someone comes up to you on these hate chats and these hate groups, you could tell them, you got your information all backwards. Okay, you got your information all backwards. Now you know why I don't open up for nobody. Nobody opens up for me. I'm Johnny O, King of Freestyle. I fit into the formats to make money for the promoters. I'm a draw. I'm a draw, baby. And when you put me together with my dancers, which I'm going to work on getting dancers together soon, and on my band, and we get promoters that want to work with me, you're going to see what we're going to do. We're going to take over and start moving freestyle to another level. At least my career. And I'm going to start studying for myself. And also keep me in prayer, you people that are praying people, because I have a lot of good things coming. My one and only is coming. The film I just mentioned to you, the docu-series that I'm working on, which I just submitted and everything. So I hope I didn't offend anybody. And if I did, I beg forgiveness. I just want to unite this industry together in love and compassion. You know, many of these male recording artists and female recording artists deserve, you know, Grammys, and they don't have it. It's not fair. It's not fair that we don't have that, you know. And I'm hoping that, you know, the Grammys would one day recognize us as a format and give us our just due, and that we would have that opportunity to present to the world. Because every single time, everybody of all cultures, all demographics encounter us. Now, the black community love me. They love me. They love me. It doesn't matter, Asian, black, Arab, anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background, what your sexuality is, what is what. I don't care about none of that. They love me, and I love you. And I love you, and I thank you for supporting me. And I thank you for defending me. You don't have to defend me, but you do. And when you do that, I thank you so much, Derek. I thank you, Freestyle Mike. I thank you so much, Fatima. I thank you so much, Franny. I thank you so much, all these people. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And Helen, everybody, listen to the thunder. God calling. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Freestyle community. Let's unite. You know, we can unite. And to the new schoolers, guys, I know you're watching me. And I know you're supporting me. But I gotta be straight up. There was some truth behind some of his statements, and I'm sorry. If it's garbage, you're gonna get it. And it's not that I'm giving anybody permission, because I can't give permission. I'm nobody. It's just they have permission. Give us good music. Give us iconic, good music. Can't somebody create freestyle to the next level? I know I am. My one and only is coming. And I've taken my ideas, and I thank God for the vault of heaven that gave me this one song that's coming. It's coming. You know, don't run away. Was a good song. You know, some people loved it, some, you know, but I tried, and I keep on trying. You know, sometimes I hit that home run. Sometimes I get on first base. Sometimes I strike out. You know, if you know my career, everybody knows I love Johnny Cash. And I know that many of you know that I know you support me. That was Joshua Weissman. I can't even talk. He's my Jewish brother. If you know my career, you know that I love Johnny Cash. I always say this in my interview. Why do I love Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash did and recorded over 3,500 records. That Blanca Diaz says she loves me. She sent me a text. She says she's so proud of me doing this interview the way I did it, with integrity, with love. I want to shout out to Blanca Diaz. Thank you. I got your text. I saw it. Thank you. That was very sweet. Johnny Cash recorded 3,500 records. 2/3 of Johnny Cash's records are garbage. Disgusting. But 1/3 of Johnny Cash's records is iconic. It's masterful. They're masterful works. And that's what it's all about. I keep recording and keep recording and keep trying and keep changing ideas and working with different producers and working for different ideas. And then maybe one day I'll get a grand slam like I did with Fantasy Girl and Dream Boy and Dream Girl, which I'm hoping, I'm praying for my one and only to be that grand slam. I have obstacles. Number one obstacle, radio. Mainstream radio won't touch us. You know, I can get Billboard reporters and I can get them to monetarily play, lightly play, it's a proper word, lightly play it on here records and stuff. And I know all you mixed shows DJs are going to play it. You always told me already. Jose Ortiz is playing it. He loves it. Derek loves it. I mean, everybody's loving it. I know Frankie Cutlass will play it because wait till he hears this record. It was written for God. It's a great song. It's an amazing song, and I know people are gonna love it. But I want it beyond just the mix shows, man. I want it on radio. I want it all over the world. You know. I'm sorry, I'm greedy. I have faith. The Word of God says if you have faith, then you can move mountains, and I have faith. I have a small faith that I can move this mountain and get it on radio and start it all over for us, if anything, you know, get my career started all over again, you know. And then maybe we'll look back and say, oh, that was good, you know, wishful thinking. But I have faith. I think something special is going to happen in my career. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. You know, I got a promise. Jubilee, Psalm 33, I'll see you uptown. That was my promise given to me, you know. I love you guys. You know, I don't want to ramble anymore. I'm done. I wanted to be short and sweet. I got to start packing. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Villas de Milo. By the way, can I do this real quick? I'm going to be in Villas de Milo tomorrow, rocking in Swansea, Massachusetts. So I'll see everybody out there with me, Cindy, and a whole host of the iconic freestyle recording artists out there. Then we're going to be killing it. We're going to be rocking it. They got some of the best recording artists coming out there. They're going to be destroying the stage. Then after that, we got Ernest Stock, Trap Room, Wellington, DE. We got Atlantic City, New Jersey, Hollywood, Florida on 6/22. I got Interchange Park in Canada, Farmingville, New York. I'm gonna do Bassdale, New York, Mount Poconos, Brooklyn. I mean, look at, I'm working my booty off. They got me working like crazy, baby. I'm like a cattle, baby. You gotta have to feed me some grass. I'm like, whoa. Man, I'm gonna be singing my heart out for the next. It says 10/26 is the last date, but I know that there's gonna be a lot of shows, you know. But that doesn't make me it gives me the privilege to boast, brag, make myself bigger and better than anybody else out there. I don't. I'm not gonna lose my friendship because of a title, and I'm not going to let anybody divide our nation, our freestyle Community Nation. I'm sorry. I love you guys. You know, I'm done. I know Frank Garcia says you're funny. I know I'm funny. Frank, I love you, baby. Thank you. Frank Garcia sent me a text. He said, I'm funny. I know. But I'm Johnny O, man. You know? Maybe one day I'll get an acting job. My agent's watching me. Believe it or not, my agent actually is freaking watching me. Dude, get me a job, man. Get me a movie, bro. Get somebody to kill me. God. I'm waiting for to get, Avengers 5 might come out. Can I be on that one? Something, bro. God. I don't know, man. I need Thanos or somebody to kill me, bro. Captain America, anybody. Come on, man. God, you're I know you're good. I sang to his mother and his mom. She's a sweetheart. So hopefully he's talking about doing a movie himself. So they got a part from me already in that one. So we'll see. I'm stop talking about it until I start filming it and showing you guys. I'm not gonna say nothing, but I'm just gonna keep on working. I gotta get something. I promise you, I'm gonna get a TV. Somehow, some way. But in a good way, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, Frank Garcia. Thank you for your support, Beast Entertainment. Thank you, Romeo Entertainment. Thank you, Fantastic Entertainment. Thank you, Freestyle Mania. Thank you, everybody out there. Tanasi, I want to thank everybody. All the iconic recording artists out there. The A-listers, the platinum listers, the gold listers, everybody listers, and all the new schoolers that you got a lot of homework to do. Because now the door is wide open for you. We will support you, but be careful. You come with garbage, they're gonna tear you apart, and they're gonna spit the bones out. And this is an industry, and we are gonna look out for our own industry. We want the best, and stuff like that. And support us out there. When we're doing our new videos and with our agendas and stuff like that, and the talk shows and stuff like that. There's so many different talk shows out there now. And people, Long Island people support you. Somebody just said, I love you guys. I love Long Island. I love everybody. Everybody knows that my background, my father, my uncle is Di Falco, Italian from Sicily, Di Falco, and my surrogate father was Bonna. I don't know if everybody knew that. Bonna, B-O-N-A, and he was Vito Bonna. He's with the Lord already. He was a beautiful soul. I love him so much. I miss him. I cross over all cultures and all people because I am just like that. When Pulse, remember Pulse, when they had that tragedy in Orlando? I was the first artist they called. They said, Johnny, we need you. We need your support. We need your love. I was there with them. And Stoneman Douglas High School, when they got through the gun shooting over here, I was there with them too. I supported them. And I'll always support everybody. I'll support this industry, and I show the love to the people, and I'll show the love of Christ to everybody, because that's who I am. I'm not judgmental. I just love you guys, and I just want the very best for everybody. I want this industry to be united. And again, I reiterate to the promoters, if I have a proposal, please reach out to me. Let's talk. There's a lot of things happening in my career that's going to be very beneficial for us to make all money and to help this industry go to the next level. So thank you so much. Enough is enough. I think I've talked enough. I'm tired. I got to start packing. My wife's going to kill me, and I got to get ready for tomorrow's show. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Vilas de Milo tomorrow, Swansea, MA, and a shout out to Latif. Excuse me. Got to say to Latif, thank you so much. He's always been there for me too, and Cover Girls, and all of them, all the people that have been out there, Will to Power. I was just recently with her out there. She's a sweetheart. I love her to death. Rob Bass, he's a good friend of mine. His wife loves me, believe it or not. She comes and sees my show. He said, my wife love you, man. I was like, I hate you. He goes, man, you crazy. I love it. It's just awesome to know. Oh, Color Me Bad. These guys, they're like, I love them. Man, he could sing. Oh my God, he could sing. We hung up in the background. We harmonized, me and him, and he gave me compliments. But when vocals come out like that, when you have those amazing vocals like George Lamont and stuff like that, you're just so totally blessed. It's like iconic to have those vocals. It's like butter. It's like that. But me, I gotta drink all kind of stuff, get those vocals jumping. But when I get those cables jumping, when they're jumping, watch out. Get out my way, baby. Get out my way. King of Freestyle's coming at you, baby. I'm coming. I'm coming with love, compassion. I'm gonna rock the stage. I'm gonna love you guys. Thank you so much, man. God bless you. Share, and share the love. And keep it positive. Keep it positive. All right? Thank you so much. And I'm gonna end it with this one saying. You ready? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Peace.